Welcome to ATI Pro Media live at 9 o'clock. Thanks for joining me today. It's Thursday, April 24th. Woke up to the beautiful sound of rain this morning out here in western Kansas. So fantastic. We got some rain out here. Hope you all got some rain here. Big time rains for wheat country. Good to see, but weighing on the wheat markets here once again as that forecast came to fruition. And we got rain makes grain, baby. Rain makes grain. So let's dive into your markets. Got some headlines here for you this week. Export sales, ethanol, some other things coming at you. But let's first check into your markets, and then we'll roll through the things. May corn is up 2 3/4 cents at 4.74 3/4. New crop December corn is up a penny and a quarter at 4.55 3/4. May beans are up a half a cent at 10.40. New crop Nove beans are down 1 penny and a half, 1.5 cents at 10.26. Soy oil is 30 cents firmer at 48.65. Soy meal is $1.30 weaker at 2.9730. Wheat market Chicago wheat, May Chicago wheat up a half a cent at 5.28 3/4. May KC wheat down 5 1/4 at 5.32. New crop July KC wheat down 4 3/4 at 5.45 1/2. Minneapolis wheat is down 4 cents as well here this morning. Looking over at your cotton, we got May cotton down $2. July cotton is relatively unchanged at 69 cents. Dees cotton right at 70 cents here. Good to see Dees cotton back above 70 cents. Looking over at your meat markets, we got May feeders up 0.15 at 288.50. A little weaker in the back months out beginning in January of next year, but your Nove feeders, May through Nove, is firmer. Looking at your live cattle, we got April up 15 points at 212.85. June's down 15 at 207.95. There they are. Hear those cows. In your hog market, we got hogs down 40 points. They don't move quite like that, but that's funny. Hogs are down 40 points at 91.47. Looking over your energy markets, crude oil's up 0.60 at 62.87. Diesel is a penny firmer at 2.13. Nat gas is down 12 cents, 2.89. Nat gas moving here. The equity markets over there, we got the Dow down 15, the S&P up 36, the NASDAQ up 260, the Russell's up 13, Bitcoin's down 340 at 93,260, gold's up 36 points, 3,312, silver's 28 cents weaker, 33.26. The dollar is breaking back to the low side, down 40 points at 99.235. The dollar's moving. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. So let's dive into your headlines here. Got some graphics for you. It's Thursday. We get updated drought monitor changes, and well, it's not going to incorporate today's rains, and maybe I got some backyard bias, but there's some puddles out there. It's looking a little swampy out here in western Kansas. I know a good swath of Kansas got some great rain, and we're glad to have it out here. Hopefully it keeps moving east and is beneficial to the crop. So great time to get rain, April, May. Not sure how long this weather pattern will last, but we'll take it while we get it here. So rain makes grain. I think that's the theme of the day, theme of the week. And the message I want you to take home here today is that rain makes grain. So drought monitor changes. Here's a flash of the latest drought monitor here. We got looking at the western, northern high plains, western corn belt, definitely there. Then that southwest extreme, not huge crop production from a corn, bean, wheat perspective, but worth paying attention to is that drought in Mexico that trails into Mexico and into that southwestern United States there. But look at the 4-week change, month-on-month change. Big changes in the east and improvements out there. Look at that eastern Iowa change there, significant. Eastern Dakotas, northern Nebraska, change in classification there. So hopefully that pattern continues and we see more green on that screen versus the degradation going forward. So yeah, good updates on your drought monitor. We'll see these rains will get incorporated over the time. Remember that drought monitor is trailing actual out there. It always takes a while to update that drought monitor out there. We got weekly export sales this week. Looking at last week, so flash those up there for you. We had a solid within range on corn at 45.4 million bushels. It's solid and within the range. Japan was the largest taker. Beans, they were on the lower end of the range, 10.2 million bushels of old crop beans. 7 to 22 is the expected range, so near that low end of the range, and 25% off the 4-week average. So seeing the bean export sales trail back a little bit. Keep in mind that Brazil crop's the number one game in town. We've seen sizable Chinese interest there, which supports the whole bean complex, but it's not necessarily U.S. demand out the door. So, but if China's buying, that means other places can come to the U.S. and buy from the U.S. too. But Brazil's the number one game in town there. Soybean meals was on the lower end of the range. Soybean oil continues to move out the door. When we look at wheat, we had some old crop cancellations rolling into new crop, decent new crop sales there on the wheat, but the old crop number looks pretty nasty out there as those were cancellations and rolling into new crop. Cotton posted 104,000 bales, which is disappointing. Nearly half the level we saw last week and 22% below the 4-week average. But on a positive note, we had some milo on the books, and that's good to see. Mexico and unknown were takers of sorghum and some milo out there on your weekly export test. So that's a snapshot of your weekly export sales, and always good to check into those. It's demand season. We're pivoting into production season. Key production time frame for U.S. crops, for that Brazil safrinha crop. Those are on the forefront. We're watching weather headlines. We're watching trade and tariff updates as well. It's a moving, dynamic market. Silly season is upon us. Brace yourself. We also had the ethanol EIA data out yesterday. We saw strong production values on your ethanol production, ticked up versus a week ago. We saw a sizable stocks draw as well. Stocks were down big at 1.3 million gallons, barrels, something, down to 25.485, well below the low end of the estimated range. So big, nice stocks draw. And I don't have a chart on it, but implied gas demand saw a nice spike higher too. So I'm going to attribute that to running around to kids' baseball tournaments. Everybody and their dog has a kid on a baseball team right now, and we're running around the country going to baseball tournaments everywhere. Those places are hopping, and there's RVs and pickups and SUVs, gas guzzling SUVs in the parking lots. A few Teslas, every once in a while I see a Tesla, but that implied gas demand is spiking up as people get out and about and enjoy the spring weather. Things are happening out there. All right, I'm going to take a sip of coffee, and then we're going to pivot into a couple other headlines here. Appreciate y'all joining us today here, Thursday. So always, you never know. These markets they feel a little quiet, but they don't let them lull you to sleep like Tony hinted at earlier in the week. So big headlines from a macro market perspective. Ukraine, Russia failing to reach peace out there. The latest proposal had U.S. recognizing Russia's sovereignty over the Crimean Peninsula. That's been occupied by Russia since 2014, but Zelensky, Ukraine President Zelensky, unwilling to accept that deal, and has met with some criticism from Trump for not willing to accept that deal. But meanwhile, overnight, Russia struck the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv, killed reports of at least 9 people, injuring 70. It's the biggest strike of the year for the capital city. And Trump posted on social media as well. He said, Vladimir, stop. So we're just struggling to reach a deal of peace there between Ukraine and Russia. That leads to some uncertainty on Black Sea grains, Black Sea crops, and just don't like to see. So finger pointing and frustration continues on that front. When you look over at the China-U.S. situation, that trade war continues. China seemed to take more of an unwavering type of stance, where there's been a little bit of a tone change in the Trump administration. Feels like Trump wants to strike a fair deal with China. China's digging in its heels, saying remove the tariffs, and a little mix in rhetoric there, but it feels like temporarily, I guess, in personal opinion, maybe that China digging their heels in there and Trump saying, hey, let's get some stuff done here. Let's change this going forward. Are the tariffs, are they having the impact we want to have here? So we'll see going forward. But a couple macro market updates there. Stay on your toes there. Look for updates on any changes on that front. I want to talk about the U.S. dollar. It's moving. Okay, the dollar index, it's actually down 8% on the year, which is significant when it comes to buying power of foreign currencies, foreign importers when on U.S. goods. The Mexican peso, a couple facts here for you. The Mexican peso has gained 8% against the U.S. dollar. That makes the buying power of the Mexican peso much more attractive to buy U.S. corn. The Brazilian real has gained 11% on the U.S. dollar year to date. That makes U.S. beans a little more competitive, offsets some of the tariff talk out there. The Japanese yen is 9% firmer versus the US dollar, and the euro is also a little over 9% firmer against the US dollar year to date. So significant changes there. The US dollar, keep your eye on that. That may provide some underlying support here for your commodities with that US dollar weakening significantly here on the year. So trying to find some footing and stabilize. I don't know how much lower it will go, but significant sell-off down, US dollar down 8% on the year. We got May options. They expire tomorrow. Going to be a dynamic. We've got a lot of put and call interest on the May 480 strikes, both puts and calls. May corn board's at 475, currently under that 480 level. We'll see if it wants to gravitate there between now and Friday, and what the next week ahead brings as we get more weather updates and headlines-driven market. So it's silly season. Watch out for speculation. Protect yourself from what makes you have a bad day. Guys, cattle market, you got great opportunities in your cattle market out there. If you're interested in LRP, you need to be talking to us. You have to decide at this point if you are willing to manage risk or if you're betting the farm on the come down the road. So pay attention to your cattle markets. Keep in mind, managing risk doesn't mean you have to be bearish. It doesn't have to be black and white, long or short, bullish or bearish. There's some gray in there in between. And, you can have a bias, just defend equity and manage the moving market in a disciplined, repeatable manner, and position yourself for success down the road. So with that, I get off my soapbox a little bit. Your markets are moving, and we'll see how we wrap up the week and what tomorrow brings. We'll be back here live at 9 tomorrow. Appreciate you joining me today. Have a fantastic day out there and go play in the rain. We'll see you.